Alright, so here we have it, the DDM Tuning ballast kit. It's a 55-watt model with an H1 bulb for the Mazda6, which we see here. Thanks for bearing with me on the focus here. I'm having to do this kind of by myself, so I'm still getting used to it. Anywho, so I've got the car torn apart. Front end's all nicely removed, and I'm getting used to pulling off the whole thing and seeing what's going on here. And I'm in the process of trying to mount these things, and the previous owners kind of goofed it up and they put it in a really weird spot, so they didn't really mount it very well, in short. So I'm trying to figure out how to do this. In short, the new ballasts are very, very thin. You can kind of tell. There's not much to them. Very small. Makes it really easy to deal with. The only trick is they don't really give you great options for mounting. I'm doing this one-handed here. They don't really give you very many good options for mounting because there's only these 3 screws. And there aren't terribly a lot of places in the fender where you can put this. I'm also grappling with the issue that I've been reading reports that certain ballasts will cause issues with other electronic equipment. So I'm trying to put this as far away from the ABS system as possible, which is one of the things I read up on. This is on a Hyundai that had this problem, but I don't want to chance it. So on the headlight housings themselves, as luck might have it, there's this mounting section here. It's got 3 openings for screws that are not tapped and no bracket, but I would expect that on a car that came with the actual right sort of setup here that the ballast would be sitting right about here and there'd be some sort of mechanism to hold it in place, or just the ballast would have the right mounting eyes on it for it. But what we're going to do is build a bracket to go from here to here, possibly here if I can make a T fitting to work, but I don't think I really can. But I'm going to try and get something to go from here to here. As you can see, I've already applied some actual foam tape to the back side of the ballast so that when it sits on the back of the housing like this, it won't rub. And I'll also apply some of that to the back side of the brace that we build. The cabling is actually going to be pretty cool because once you actually get it mounted, and we'll kind of walk around the car here for a minute because I had the other light installed just to see how much room was underneath. Once you get actually in here, the mounting portion of it, which is right here, as you can see there's plenty of airplay through here, so there's a lot of good ventilation. It's not near any sort of electronics or anything that's going to get really hot. And this cool part is that you can actually route the cables right through here and through the fender liner to get up into the headlight housing, which is back here. So there won't be too much of an issue with routing the cables, and it also won't put too much strain on the ballast because the ballast is going to actually be pointing with the cables going this way, since the back of it's right there. So with any luck, we should have a good working HID setup. And I just went over to Lowe's and picked up a panel of steel, cut it up. Looked like the measurements are 11 centimeters by 8 centimeters if you really want to be picky, from hole to hole on the backside of the headlamp assembly right here, or the headlight housing. You can see from hole to hole, from these holes to this hole, it's 4 inches directly from eye to eye of the holes. And then from here to here is about 3, but you have to extend the metal just to overlap a little bit, so it works out to be about 11 centimeters by 8 centimeters, from 11 and then to 8. So after that, you just take some tin snips like those over there, those ones right there, and trim it up to meet the eyelets. After that, it looks pretty clean when you install it. You can kind of see under here. There's the panel. You can kind of see it right in there. And it looks pretty good. Alright, so here's the second plate. It's a little dark outside, so I apologize if this can't be seen really well, but in short, I just wanted to mention there's these 2 parts right here. These are foam strips, actually foam tape that I've put on the back side of it, and on the underside of the kit as well. So there's this stuff on this side of it as well to help give it some suspension, also some relief. But just to make sure that you do that, it'd be a good idea to give it some sort of way to not be running around in here loose, and then I'll also isolate it so it's not just, you know, plastic on metal and vice versa. The panel came out pretty good. So like I said earlier, these little finish screws here aren't the greatest thing on the face of the planet. There's this little washer I thought would do something, but it's kind of running loose. So you don't have to get those kind of screws, obviously, but they came out pretty well. The cabling I'm going to route underneath around the lower bracing, kind of like the last one, and then we'll button it all back up and take it out on the road to aim it.